Bitcoin has seen a crazy pump, $6,000 overnight. Now, guys, while I was doing my live video for you last night, right here, as you can see, that was very interesting because there was no pump happening. But the moment it started to happen was the time that I left my office. I mean, I think I left my office at midnight. And yeah, I got home at about 12:15. And I didn't check my phone at that point. I was already very tired. So nothing happened there. But guys, this was the craziest thing. We had a $6,000 Bitcoin pump in that moment. Okay. And it hasn't stopped pumping since. So, guys, we're going to take a huge dive into what happened and the thoughts of it. And I'm going to have a few little videos that I'm going to share with you about Michael Saylor and why Bitcoin is the #1 asset in this world. All right, guys. Thanks for being here with me today. Welcome back to the Crypto Bliss Show. I'm Kiara DeCass, and I will be your host on the channel as always, guys. So as you can see here, the Dixie or the dollar on the 4-hourly time frame was heavily rejected. We broke the neckline over here. We hit this level of support line. And as you can see, all my little squigglies, let's just delete and make it a little bit cleaner. But like I said to you, we probably get, you can see the dollar didn't like being down here, so it pulled up immediately. That's okay. It's still making lower highs. That's still okay. Now, let us go and have a look at one or two of the news articles and let's see what it's all about. Okay, so first one from Michael Saylor. Invest in money, not credit. Okay, so what he means is don't take our credits, don't go and get yourself a bond, on credit, because those are down 24%. And this is the performance since August 10, 2020, when MicroStrategy adopted its Bitcoin strategy. And they are up 147% and bonds are down 24%. NASDAQ is only up 18%, Bitcoin is up 147%, and it beats big tech. Okay, then Bitcoin is digital gold. No wonder it's beating gold. As beautiful as gold is, I still own some gold and silver, but Bitcoin is the king. Okay, it is the #1 asset. So why would you not wanting to be investing in Bitcoin, guys? Look at this with the $6,000 pump, and make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to show you my trades. I'm going to show you what happened and what's going on in my trades, and we'll have a look at that in a little moment. But I showed you guys this yesterday. I showed it to you in my live stream. I showed it to you in this video over here as well. And essentially what you can see is Bitcoin is stronger and the strongest. It's outperformed bonds, which have been the worst performance. I love this little meme here. I don't know if you guys can see it behind my face. But can't stop Bitcoin. Look at this. I love that. I think that's incredible. But bonds are down 24%. Silver is down 19%. Gold is down 3%. NASDAQ is up. I mean, even the NASDAQ and the S&P are beating gold and silver, which is very interesting. I'd like to see how oil compares to this as it fits into the commodity spectrum. So I'd love to know that. But basically, Bitcoin is the winning elite here, guys. Now, ever since this man published this video, which was 13 days ago, Bitcoin is up almost 30%, and actually it pumped 36% last night since Jim Cramer said Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big. That was 13 days ago.
I just can't get on I can't be in something where Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big.
I mean, this man, we all know he's a fool. Whether he's paid to speak this way or not, whether he actually physically believes this way and he side hustles Bitcoin on the side, who actually knows and who actually cares? But every time he says it, it's the signal to buy Bitcoin, guys. And that's obviously what happened, right? So this is the actual article from the court, where the U.S. court so the U.S. Court of Appeals issues a mandate that the SEC must, review grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF application. This was made last night. This came in September term 23, filed on October 23th. That was last night. Grayscale Investments, the petitioner, and Securities Exchange, the respondent. So the mandate, in accordance with the judgment on the 29th of August and pursuant to Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 41, this constitutes the formal mandate of this court. So the court is filing to basically say to the SEC, you must review the application, and it is time. It is time to approve the ETF applications. Now, I don't know about you, but in one way, I would love to see the liquidity come in from something like the ETF, but I actually wouldn't like the ETF because, as we've seen, gold was heavily manipulated over the last 2 decades. Okay, well, decade and a bit since the ETF was launched, and that's not cool. We don't want to see more manipulation than what we already have in the space. But guys, BlackRock has been buying. You can see here. This is from Bitcoin Magazine. New BlackRock iShares Bitcoin Trust is now listed on the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation with the ticker IBTC, iShares BTC. Okay, so what is basically happening here is BlackRock is basically, and maybe they're doing it through iShares, which we know about, but basically what they're doing is they're taking some cash or liquidity and they're pumping it into Bitcoin, and that's why we had Bitcoin. So there's already Bitcoin buying happening from these institutions. And if you're gonna be the last retailer to buy, okay, you're literally gonna be buying the top. But like Michael Saylor says, he's gonna be buying the top forever. So it's completely irrelevant right now. But as a retail investor, you don't want to see these massive 80-90% drawdowns on your money or your liquidity. So it's good to go in and out and take some profits where you possibly can. There's a little spider walking across my camera. I hope you guys couldn't see that. He's busy hovering around there, right there. Strange. All right, but here is another article from, okay, it's the same article there. So guys, let's go and have a look at the Dixie. All right, we've seen the Dixie. You can see it's downtrend happening. It's just happening right now as we speak. And let me go let these charts reload while I come and share with you and show you what happened. So this is the 4-hour. This is the Bitcoin dollar index. Okay, since this was the wick where we were supposedly fooled by Cointelegraph about the ETF being launched, we sat sideways here waiting. And guess what? Boom. Chaka, 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 chaka. All right. That move that we made was a 25% move right up to that beautiful level there, guys. And if we go and start to look at this a little bit on higher time frames, we've now broken out of the horizontal level that we needed to break out of. Not only have we broken out of it, but we've broken out of it with extremely strong volume. We engulfed all of this here with this move to the upside. So, guys, maybe we don't even pull back this far. I don't know. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, we'll have to be patient and wait to see what happens. But guess what? We almost reached my target that I put out there for you guys yesterday from this breakout that came from here. This was the target till this point. So perhaps we continue the pump up until this 38K level. Because right now, what we're doing is we're hovering around this zone right here, as you can see. So that 38K level is more a stronger level that I would like to see. That would mean that we would have made a 60% pump ever since we found the support zone right here. As you guys can see, I've been talking about that for a long time and showing you that for a very, very long time now. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you guys get notifications as to when these things happen. Now, this is Bitcoin dominance, guys. Hey, Bitcoin dominance. I told you guys, look at this yesterday. I said, pull back and retrace. Look, we didn't even fulfill the whole handle pattern of the cup, the teacup here. Boom. Okay. We literally had a pullback and it said, well, screw this. I'm going up. We pumped up to 44.26%. And we're now looking as though we want to close above this level, which means that very likely, probably more money will come into the Bitcoin space. Now, this is the cup and handle breakout, and that is the target of 56.47. So essentially, it's probably going to go and start to reach up to that level between 56 and 58%, like I've been talking to you guys about for a very, very long time. We also have volume starting to increase once again. So I hope you guys managed to buy some Bitcoin out there yesterday. And if you didn't, well then, please go ahead, use my Bybit link. My Bybit link down below and my Bitflix link down below so that you guys can go ahead and trade this with me. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity, guys. It is massive. Okay. So as you can see here, this is the Bitcoin Coinbase chart that I have for you. It's a very, very clean chart. And like I drew for us last night, that's the level that we're very, very likely going to have to break through. And guess what? We did it. Okay, look at it. We have broken through tremendously. So like I said, look, there's a lot of volume over there, but there's very little over here. But I would say that the majority of it is around this level up here, which is 37,700. So, I would probably consider to start taking profits like that very soon, especially on the daily time frame when we're looking at something like this, because we can see what it is currently doing. Oh, excuse me, guys. The aircon steals my oxygen. I actually had to switch it off because I couldn't take it anymore. Now, I want to go and have a look at this one on the weekly chart, because as we all know, this is my chart. And as you guys can see here, this is an upward sloping trend line. We are coming to that trend line right now. The RSI is busy breaking out of that trend line. So we might continue up a little bit more, like I said, the 38K level. But then maybe there would be some sort of retracement back underneath this upward sloping level, because we haven't broken above that level properly just yet. Now, I want to go and have a look at a number of indicators like I continue to talk to you guys about, because on the weekly, we have now broken up above the top of the Gaussian channel, okay? And that is absolutely incredibly bullish. And we did that last week already, okay? We closed a very strong bullish candle above the top end. We're now continuing the bullish momentum on this candle to the top end, guys. That is very, very, very healthy. The EMA ribbon is looking very, very beautiful as well. It's starting to pull up now. It found some support on the ribbon over here in this zone, as we can see. And essentially, we are now starting to make a very strong pump to the upside. The ribbon is starting to open, which is going to bring lots more liquidity into the space. So, guys, higher highs continue, higher lows continue. I did say that we would meet this support zone, over here. Okay, I said we would probably try to find support on this upward sloping line, but we didn't even get down there. That's how precious and phenomenal Bitcoin is. Now, I'd like to share with you and show you this video from Mr. Michael Saylor and Valuetainment that shows us some absolutely incredible information about Bitcoin and why he believes that Bitcoin is, of course, a massive part of the future. And this is his 11-minute summary of the essence of money, the problem of inflation, the paradox of investing, and the brilliance of Bitcoin. Let's go and delve right into this.
I started going down this rabbit hole of thinking about what is money when I realized that I was in essence going to lose my company, right, and destroy the livelihoods of all my employees and, waste 30 years of my life. And so when I started thinking about it, and, it's helpful when Jerome Powell says we're not even thinking about raising interest rates, your strategy of investing in bonds is broken. When I started thinking about it, what I realized is money is energy. Money is economic energy, social, political energy. Currency is a medium through which the energy moves. If you wish to hold energy and transport energy, you need a technology. We're not using gold anymore. When we use gold, as I pointed out, it's expensive and it's cumbersome. Currencies don't work. The U.S. dollar is the strongest currency in the world, but it's losing 15 to 20% of its value a year. The peso is losing 40 to 50% of its value a year. The bolivar is losing 100%, 98% of its value a year. So once you start thinking about it that way, you start thinking, well, what's a better way to store economic energy through time? And you realize that the currencies don't work, gold doesn't work. So what is money? Well, money in the last 30 years became the S&P index. You buy a diversified portfolio of companies, of stocks, which is a little bit better because maybe you're getting bled 2% a year by the management team, but the company's making money, and so maybe you can hold value. It turns out that the money's losing about 10% of its value a year, and the S&P index is going up about 10% a year. And you look at that for 100 years, and there's a very interesting correlation there. A diversified portfolio of assets is tracking the money supply. Okay, interesting. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem with holding stocks as a store of value is if the stock goes up by a factor of 10, there's a management team that has a fiduciary obligation to issue more stock. There's a temptation to issue stock. Stocks aren't scarce. The amount of equity shares will also go up. If the stock is overvalued versus the fundamentals of the company, the CEO is almost certainly going to issue more stock. And so that's one problem. The second problem is stocks have political nexus. They have management teams. They're in countries. They can be unionized. I can put a tariff on the product. I've got a competitor. What if the CEO goes bonkers? All sorts of interesting problems. What if the company gets expropriated by the government, or the jurisdiction it operates within? So stocks are an imperfect approach, better than gold. The other approach is buy a bunch of buildings in New York City, buy scarce desirable real estate in Miami, Los Angeles, London. That's an interesting idea, and the best idea in the 20th century, if you're going to try to either create wealth or hold your wealth. If you want to hold your wealth, you buy $1 billion worth of property. If you want to create wealth, you borrow $1 billion, and you buy $1 billion of property, and you start with $1 million of equity, a sliver of equity, and what you're doing is you're going short the currency and you're going long the property. So if I told you, let's go to Argentina. If I told you in Argentina the peso is going to go from 1 peso to the dollar, to 5 pesos to the dollar, to 10 pesos to the dollar, to 20 pesos to the dollar, to 40, to 80, to 100, the black market rate right now is 210 pesos to the dollar, 220. If I told you it was going to collapse from 1 to 220, and you had 20 years of notice, what's your best strategy? Take your million pesos, convert it to dollars, and you're going to have 220 million pesos in 20 years. You're going to look rich. Better strategy is borrow 1 million pesos, convert it to dollars.
Wow.
Best strategy would be mortgage your entire company in pesos, sell equity in your company in pesos, convert it all to dollars, and then get the dollars out of the country. Because if they're in the country, if the million pesos is converted to dollars in a bank in Argentina, then the government will basically pass a law, force your dollars to be converted back into pesos, devalue them. And I happen to have some experience with that because I actually had $1 million in Argentina during the last currency collapse. They converted it to pesos. They devalued it 10 to 1. A day later, I'd lost 90% of my money. So, simple idea. Short the currency which is collapsing, go long property, and then get the property out of the country. Because the property in the country is also going to devalue because the property is valued based upon the stream of cash flows, right? If the building has got a rentor and it's got a lease, and the lease is capped at CPI or denominated in local currency, when the currency collapses, the value of the rental income also collapses. So wouldn't it be great if I could buy a virtual building in Argentina using borrowed pesos, and then what if I could spirit the building out of the country and rent it to people in London or New York City? That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is digital property that you can teleport anywhere in space instantly, and it's also perfected property with the lowest maintenance cost. You don't have the property tax you have on a building. You don't have to repaint the thing every 10 years. You don't have to worry about leaks in the roof. So if I could buy $1 billion worth of property and it was in cyberspace, and if you couldn't make any more of it, if I capped it at 21 million city blocks in cyberspace, and if I could hold it for 1,000 years, I might have a better idea than buying a city block in Manhattan or a building in London or even a company. And it's a lot better idea than buying 30,000 pounds worth of gold. Why? Because real estate developers are going to create more buildings, gold miners are going to create more gold, mayors are going to pass a property tax, and they're going to put some kind of enjoinder or some kind of restriction on your rents. Rent control your building. Something, you know, acts of God are going to create earthquakes and floods and lightning strikes. And none of that stuff's happening in cyberspace. So the whole idea of Bitcoin is it's perfected, engineered gold, crypto gold, with none of the defects of gold. You can't mine any more of it. It's weightless. I can move it at the speed of light. It never decomposes. I can break it into 1,000 pieces in a second, send it to 1,000 places, and recompose it, all using a computer program. And I can take personal custody of it. Maybe the most powerful two ideas are: I can hold possession of $1 billion of Bitcoin in my head, just holding a password or a set of private keys. That's a pretty big idea. Maybe the first time in the history of the human race that you can actually take possession of your wealth and take it to the grave with you, or take it anywhere else on earth with you. And even if I put a gun to your head, the most I can do is kill you. I can't take it. And this is a very interesting idea. Every other form of property in the history of the human race, I pull the gun, I get it all. Right? My incentive is to violence. With Bitcoin, I pull the trigger, I get none of it. So the incentive is the negotiation. I'd rather have half than zero, right? And it's a very interesting idea, big idea. And the second big idea is...
I just got super intimidated, by the way.
The second big idea is it's a virus. It's a cyber virus. It's a chain reaction in cyberspace, or it's a life form in cyberspace. Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software, and the software itself is going to basically protect your money. The problem with software is I don't trust the computer it's on. If it's on a single phone, I can seize the phone and reprogram the software. So if I came up with a bank that was run by software, how do I prevent any human being from corrupting it? The thing that makes it incorruptible is I release thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of identical copies in cyberspace, and it's self-replicating, and all of the copies keep track of each other, and when one of them is corrupted, it gets kicked off the network. So you could think of it as I released a life form, plankton, or a virus, and I let it go, or a swarm. Now, you're a part of the swarm. I shoot you, it doesn't help. You have the genetic code. I shoot you, it doesn't help. I obliterate all of, the algae in the Atlantic. Won't stop it. I eliminate all of the bacteria in your body. Won't stop it, right? It's a virus. It's going to keep spreading. And the beauty of the system is it's in essence this chain reaction in cyberspace, and the only purpose of the chain reaction is to protect the integrity of the network. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. So what you've got is truth and integrity released as a cyber virus, and you can, if you choose to join that network, you avail yourself of all of the benefits of that network.
How many of the 21 million Bitcoin have been mined already?
About 18.5 million.
What did you think about that video from Mr. Michael Saylor on Valuetainment? So shout out to both of them. Truly appreciate you guys spearheading the Bitcoin narrative for the earth and us cryptopians on this earth that absolutely love crypto. So let's go and have a last look at the trades. But before I do that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you show love and appreciation to all of us and our beautiful community, you special blessed souls. Thank you for being here with me today. I truly appreciate it. And make sure you hit my Bybit and my Bitflex links down, pinned in the comments of this video for you guys. So you guys can come and trade and make money with me just like this. So I'm still in my long position. I only took $10 worth of profits yesterday, and I did say that I would do that. Where did I do that? That was here. I only took $10. What a bad place to take some profits, right? Well, you don't know this, and that's the thing. But from that moment, boom, crazy pump up to the upside here, guys. So my trades are now doing this, and you can see I'm in multiple trades here. So I'm in a Bitcoin long position, which is now 116% in profit. I'm in my GRT position, which is now 20% in profit. Guys, GRT is $5. Where's the position margin? Yeah, $6. I'm already 20%. That's what I mean. You can trade with nothing. Matic, I'm up 63%, although I don't know how I managed to get a $1 trade on Matic, but guys, you can trade with $1. Like, seriously, you can. Why I'm doing this, and I tell you guys this all the time, is I want to show you how you guys can actually make money with $1. You can build hundreds of dollars into the thousands, tens of thousands, and eventually hundreds of thousands. But it takes patience, it takes time, it takes dedication, effort, energy, and you cannot miss out on those opportunities. So my Matic trade is up 63%. My Shiba trade is up 17%. I unfortunately didn't get into a Dodge trade. I did really want to get into a Dodge trade, but I didn't. And guys, you can see here, other than Bitcoin and XRP, all the other trades are 3x leverage. I'm not using 10x leverage. I don't actually want to use 10x leverage right now because it's easier to use small leverage so that there's no liquidations happening. My XRP trade is up by 53%. And as you guys can see, we continue to make money on the channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you guys can get the best benefits of that. Remember my links down below. Love you guys. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one. Bless you, beautiful souls.